Sup brothers, this is Homa to this video. My name is Elenix and we are back again with another video. So guys, on this video I want to talk about how Xiao's best in slot weapon actually might be the Calamity Queller instead of everything else. And I know that's weird because the most best weapon for him right now is Staff of Homa, but that's everyone's best in slot. And I understand that it is a really good weapon, but I want to talk about how if you do plan to C6 Xiao, or even not, that Calamity Queller may be a weapon you may want to look into, at least as a long-term based weapon. So I never done something like this, so bear with me in terms of like the numbers and all that stuff, but I've made sure to at least make sure I've got a lot of this stuff in check. So while we got Xiao chilling here and got Miko just watching them at the same time, hopefully editing me doesn't forget to put gameplay in the background so you guys have something to watch. But let's go ahead and hop on in. Okay, so for the sake of this, I'm gonna go ahead and break this down for my Xiao, just so you guys can have an idea of what we're looking at here and what we're gonna be working with in terms of what you guys will see gameplay wise in the background and in terms of stat wise. So 90 out of 90. He can have more attack, I will say that, but because of the fact that if you guys know about what something Xiao's gonna get sooner or later, then I don't feel a reason for me to go ahead and press on for a better much of attack and just stick what he got. Because right now he's just chilling right now until he gets a little something coming in. So going ahead and break this down, 90 out of 90, I have 55.3 crit rate. And almost pretty much you can just say 204 crit damage, 111 recharge. Personally, I would love 120, but I'll wait to actually fix that at a later date or something like that. Anemo damage wise, I'm looking at pretty much 59, and I'm rocking Calamity Queller. And artifact wise, if you guys would like to see what I'm rocking, you can pause the screen. I'll put them up ahead of time. Alright, C0. I wanted to go for his C1, but I had to get Shenhe when she came out, and I also wanted to get for her weapon because I feel like that weapon was actually more built for Xiao, and I'll explain that a little later in terms of why I feel like the weapon was more built for Xiao than her. Talent wise, triple crowned. First character that's triple crowned on my entire account, and he does work. I think the next one we're gonna go for is most likely Keqing, but you guys will get a video whenever I finish that up, and also Keqing's gonna be a little more cracked first before I even get that video going. So also, just for reference, if you guys want to see what it looks like if I'm rocking the weapon I'll be testing on the side, which will be Staff of Homa, then we're looking at pretty much 21, 22, or I can say 2.1, 22, however you want to say your attack, and then crit damage wise 270 with pretty much the same crit rate. I have tried Staff of Homa on Xiao before, so I will say I do like it, but in terms of me for weapons, I like to have every character have their own standalone weapon. That way no characters really have to share anything in terms of like Abyss or just normally free roaming, pretty much. Okay, so hopefully editing Elenix got you guys on the gameplay and the background footage that you guys are seeing, but I'm gonna go ahead and break this down from everything. So if you guys don't know, if you don't have Xiao, or if you have been looking into Xiao and you missed your 50-50 or just wait for a rerun or anything like that, Xiao actually doesn't need a lot of like anemo damage if you were thinking that, or if you already knew that. He pretty much needs, if I'm being honest, he could probably go with like the least amount of anemo damage as possible, but I have never tried a 0 anemo damage Xiao before. But in terms of what you normally rock, you always rock that anemo goblet just so he can get that extra anemo damage. Everything outside of that, attack, crit damage, stereotypical stuff. So why do you need so much attack? Well, for starters, let me go ahead and break that down real quick. Xiao gets so much multipliers. If you just take away Viridescent out the mix, like this, take Viridescent, chug it out the window, we're not worried about that. He gets so much multipliers just from the goblet and from just his passives and not even just the passives, his ult. Like the ult alone at level 10 literally gives you 95.2 attack, and the fact that that is for everything normal charge and plunging attack, you have to account that plus your goblet. Then you have to account the first passive, which is when he uses his ult, he increases his damage by 5% the longer he's within his ult. Now note, his ult does last for 15 seconds, so if you think about it, that's 25% more damage that you're going to get just from his ult in the first passive in the goblet alone. Then his second passive, which if I'm being completely honest is kind of useless unless you're C6, because you're not going to really be utilizing it all the time. You'll probably utilize it everything from C0 to C5. Yeah, from C0 to Z5, you'll utilize this just in the very beginning of your rotation for Xiao, and that just pretty much just increases his skill speed. But I'm gonna be more natural for me and just say his E, so E or Q depending on Q for ult, E for skill, just for reference if you guys want to know. And you can keep up with me. Gosh dang, somebody's but in terms of damage, and for his second passive, you're already looking at a 45% damage increase. So you take the passive from his two passives, which is already a 45% increase and a 25% increase. You take his ult with 2% of it damage increase. Then you take his goblet, which I think the goblet's alone with a 46 point something. So you take all of that, you're already chilling in terms of anemo damage. So why do you want Calamity Queller? Well, let's say you do want that viridescent little extra 15%. Well, Calamity Queller takes care of that. It actually makes sure that you can Calamity Queller actually makes sure that you are able to get that viridescent bonus without actually needing viridescent on, because viridescent gives you a 12% all elemental damage bonus. Now I will say, what if I don't need the other stuff? Well, here's also the benefit I did notice using Calamity Queller. That extra 12% for all the other elements does help for when you are swirling other elements. So if you're swirling Electro, if you're swirling Pyro, Cryo, all the other elements, it actually does help. It does give a little more damage. I don't know why it gives like just a little, but it's good. It's kind of like Kazuha, so it's like a little bit of a mini Kazuha that you kind of have within just your spear. It's kind of sick. So why do you want Calamity and not Staff of Homa? So that just kind of goes more into a crit damage crit ratio build type of Xiao. And if you guys are seeing in the gameplay in the background, Staff of Homa is definitely hitting harder, or should be hitting harder. And then Calamity Queller, it does hit hard, but it's more of a C6 based weapon. Now I'm gonna say it, I don't think this weapon was made for Shenhe. I think it was made more for Xiao, and it's just an underground Xiao weapon that is probably just not really thought of until you really think about it. So when you break down into it, Xiao needs attack more than anything. This weapon has a high base attack of 741. It has an attack percent of 16.5. You take that and you add it with your Gladiator, which is already going to give you, Gladiator and Shimenawa together is going to give you 36% of more attack. Then you add on the 16.5%. That's pretty good. Then you throw on the passive of Calamity Queller, which is technically the C6 version of Primordial Jade. If you guys haven't used Primordial Jade or you don't know the passive of Primordial Jade, the more hits you do, then it's pretty much the same amount of a percentage, 3.2%. you can get an extra 6 stacks. As you hit your opponents, then those stacks go up, and then eventually, once you hit max stacks, it has like this glowing aura over the like the little sharp part of the spear. Calamity Queller is the C6 variation of that. When you use your skill, you get the full stacks. So why would you not use Staff of Homa? It kind of depends on what you want. If you want to highlight crit damage, yes, Staff of Homa will hit, but I feel like Staff of Homa requires so much more, because the thing is, if you're running Xiao, you're probably going to run, what, maybe the Xiao national team with Xiao, Bennett, Zong, and Albedo, or you're probably going to switch out Bennett for Jean, one of the two. I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to have a healer, but if you're rocking that team, you're probably not going to hit the Staff of Homa passive at all. Let's be honest here. And if you're rocking Jean, you're probably still not going to hit the passive at all. But if you're rocking Calamity Queller, there is no downside to it. There is no downside. You're still hitting that passive because it only goes off of your skill. And yes, this weapon did come out with Shenhe, but let's take a quick second and let me explain. Shenhe only has one skill that she can activate. Her C1, I'm pretty sure it's her C1, I can check. Okay, it's her C1. Her C1 only gives her access to one more skill. Now the thing is, even if you do get C1 Shenhe, you're still not going to get the full benefits of Calamity Queller because of the fact that you need to hit 6 skills within that time window of 20 seconds. Shenhe only has 2 skills and they both have an abysmally long cooldown. The hold one has a 15-second cooldown and the tap one has a 10-second cooldown. Even if you manage to get the tap one out twice, you're still only getting 2 stacks. And if you do the tap and hold like most people do, you're still only getting 2 stacks. Meanwhile, you have Xiao over here, whose skill literally is 10 seconds, and literally at C1 or C0 literally can do 2 of them. That's already 2 stacks. You get C1, 3 of them. That's 3 stacks. You already hit 3 stacks just from one constellation. So where does the tie-in come in? C6. Because C6, you literally go on a Beyblade mode with Xiao and you plunge and you just dash, 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 dash multiple times that by the time you pretty much finish, I think his ult, well actually not even by the time you finish his ult, by the time you're on your second plunge with Xiao and C6, you've already achieved all those 6 stacks. And if you take all of that together with the artifacts, the weapon ascension of the 3.2 attack, and the the ascension of 16.5 and the passive of 3.2, which maxes out at 19.2%, you're already looking at 71.7%. And then the thing is, that's a lot of attack, but we're not even counting the anemo goblin and all the other stuff. So you see where I'm kind of going here if you think about it. The thing is, Calamity Queller is definitely a C6 Xiao based weapon. If you take away the high crit ratio, if you just take away all the crit ratio of 270 and or 270 60 or even 270, I've seen the Xiao have 300 crit damage with 60 crit rate. I don't know how they pulled that off. But if you take away the high crit damage and you just do the attack alone, Xiao has so much attack, it's ridiculous. Now, I will say this though, if Calamity Queller had a crit ratio, this one would be more broken than it already is. Or if there was an artifact set that increased your crits, it would be nasty broken. Now, here's the thing about this, that why I'm bringing this video up now of all times. If you guys don't know, and I don't like to talk about certain things, but this is just the reason why. If you guys don't know, Xiao is going to get an increase and he is going to, without me going all the way, y'all, he's going to get an increase, and he is going to definitely spike in damage. And if you guys know, you know. If you don't know, you can do your research. But he's definitely going to increase a lot more in terms of damage wise. I don't know how hard crits are going to play, but I actually think, if I'm being honest here, if Xiao, if they bring in a character that increases crit damage on all characters, it doesn't matter who it is, like Kujo Sara, but versatile to any element, Xiao with that character in whatever and what's coming with him is going to be disgusting. Now, of course, this is all C6 base. Not all of this can work with C0. C1 can get away with this to an extent, but even C0 can get away with this to an extent, because even I use this as C0. But I can say this weapon and a lot of other things that you can do with him is going to be disgusting. I will make a follow-up video when the thing specifically comes out. And when it does, I got you guys. But until then, that's pretty much it. But that's pretty much why I think Calamity Queller is his best in slot. I think Staff of Homa is a good candidate. If you have it, stick with it. But if you have Calamity Queller and you haven't tried it out on Xiao, give it a shot and try it without Bennett, because this weapon pops off without Bennett, and with Bennett it's just disgusting. And I am very excited for his next rerun, because his next rerun I'm thinking of going ham. We'll see when his next rerun comes around. And I want to see what this weapon's like at full stacks with C6 and the other things that will be around the corner. Xiao's gonna be nasty, and if you guys are thinking about having him on your radar, you may want to check. But I would highly recommend, if you guys have Calamity Queller and Xiao, give it a shot. And if you guys have been using Calamity Queller with Xiao, and you guys were rolling under the banner and got Calamity Queller instead of Primordial Jade, let me know what you think about it. I like it. I like it more than all the other weapons. Like, even to me, I like it more than Homa, and that's kind of crazy. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your favorite weapon for Xiao is. I've seen people rock all types of weapons, energy recharge based, like Fervonia's, Calamity Queller, the Vortex, Staff of Homa is the main one I see. I see a lot of weapons all the time. Black Cliff, Deathmatch, all the others. Let me know what you guys rocking, what you guys are looking forward to in terms of Xiao, and what's your, I guess, your Xiao like build that you would like to have in the end of the day or something like that. I don't know. But I'm looking forward to what Xiao's gonna have in the long run. And that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys enjoyed the video, hit the video with a like. And if you guys would like to see more content of me doing more things for Genshin, then let me know. And if you guys would also like to see me doing more, like, I guess, why I feel like this weapon is this character's best in slot, I think this can actually be a good series. If you guys like it, I'll try to do some more. But yeah, that'll pretty much be it. I have some other characters and some other builds that I think will be really sick to show, and that's gonna pretty much be it. But yeah, my name is Elenix, and I will see you kings and queens on the next one.